Let's live, love like Jesus. Well, today's story is back in the upper room. This is the site of the Last Supper, the last evening of Jesus' life. And at the beginning before this particular passage plays out, Judas leaves to do what he has to do. And then Jesus has a message for his disciples, and that is to love one another as I have loved you. This is the great commandment. And this is what it's all about. It's an unconditional concern for the other. That's what it's all about. Love one another as I've loved you. What is love? Well, it is an absolute concern, a complete unconditional concern for the self, for the other, for all people. There is an interconnectedness to this power that fulfills peace between and within us. We have access to the power of love, and it's our willingness to share it and receive it that will determine how much peace the world will experience. It's all about caring for the other as we care for ourselves. So how did Jesus love? If that's love, how did he do? Well, first of all, he spent time with his disciples. He got to know them very well, and they got to know him. And as he got to know them and they got to know him, of course, this love starts to develop. Jesus understands the unique needs of each of these disciples who will go out after his death and resurrection to plant churches throughout the world. It was important for Jesus to know them and to work with them and to love them. And he loved them, my friends, with what we call the great shalom. He loved them with compassion, mercy, justice, forgiveness, and grace. This is love. It's the energy of love that Jesus shared with his disciples and all people. He loved them with an understanding that all people are created by God. All people on planet Earth are created and sacred. All people are sacred. All people are valued. That means all people. There's nobody that is an exception to that. It's about the absolute concern for the well-being, not only of our family, not only for our friends, not only for our neighbors, but also for our fellow citizens, for refugees, for immigrants, for those from different lands, other cultures, other faiths, other beliefs. Now, this love that I am talking about is at that moment rooted in the ancient Near East under the purview of Jesus and his ministry. This is how Jesus sees the world, see. And he knew it would require sacrifice. This kind of love requires sacrifice. It just does. It could be on a micro level or macro level, but it does require sacrifice. And certainly Jesus was sacrificed. Certainly most of his disciples were sacrificed. But in the end, this is how we are to love. Now, the challenge with all this is, as we bring it now into 2025, the challenge that we have as disciples of Christ in unpacking this, that in our time, we might be influenced by other voices than the voice of Jesus. And they had the same problem, again, 2,000 years ago. I mean, we're just now talking about 2025, but we can be influenced by other voices to such an extent that the cause of Christ becomes subordinated to some other urge or instinct. It happens a lot. We might be influenced by politicians of all stripes, others who speak of ideologies that do not completely and comprehensively promote the peace. All of this is going on in our midst, and we are consuming it. The question is, do we consume it with the discernment of the shalom and know what to throw out instinctively? It's a challenge. In looking at Psalm 146, we didn't read this, but I'm thinking about leadership when I mentioned this. Psalm 146 says, a true leader is one who preserves fidelity forever, fidelity. One who does justice to the oppressed, one who furnishes bread for the hungry, who sets the prisoners free, who opens the eyes of the blind, and who raises up those who are bowed down. That is what leadership does. And we are leadership as well. Now, this whole idea of love is tricky. And I'm confident that Jesus would say to us before sending us out to love the world, to fear not. This kind of love is scary. It can have an impact on our lives. There's a fear that many of us face, all of us to some extent, to really get to know people better. Even our neighbors, not to mention those who are suffering around the world. Fear, my friend, of getting closer and more intimate in a proper way is probably our big speed bump on this issue. The fact of the matter is, to unpack Jesus more, it's really about us giving birth in our heart to all people. This is the intimacy of God that works through us, that has created us and invites us to give birth from our heart to all of God's creation. Now, it's a big proposition. It's doable, though. Don't ever think it's not. Don't go butt on me. You know, I think that the pushback, if I think about myself, is that I'm afraid to change. I like sort of kind of where I'm at, how I see the world, how I see people, I'm okay. I don't want to change. I don't necessarily always want to go deeper, But that's what I'm invited to do, and it is what I'm expected to do. And so we need to get comfortable with our discomfort. We need to lift up, my friends, that understanding, again, that all people are created by God. All people are sacred. And that means all people. It does in our world, just as it did in Jesus' world. It means family, it means friends, it means neighbors, it means fellow citizens, it means refugees, it means immigrants. It means those from different lands and cultures and faiths and beliefs. It means all of that. Because all of that is in God's creation. Now, just like the disciples and Jesus, to do this may require sacrifice. Not may, it will. It'll be different for each of us. But there is sacrifice that happens when we are sharing this type of love. And it's something that is essential. I've shared this before. One of my professors at seminary talking about ministry. And by the way, this is all ministry, right? That's what we're talking about. But he said to us, you know, sometimes in ministry, you will put yourself intentionally in harm's way, and you should. And that will be scary, and it will hurt. But if you never put yourself intentionally in harm's way, I do question the depth and breadth of God's love that you are sharing with the world. So harm's way doesn't mean you have to get run over by a truck. It could be just the pushback by another person or something like this. But in any event, whatever that sacrifice is, moving forward, we must never look through the eyes of anything other than the Christ. And this does not mean you get separated from everything else. It doesn't mean that at all. It means you become more intimately involved with everything you're interested in. But now it's becoming interested through the eyes and the heart of Christ. It invites us to ask different questions. And we will. We'll be informed in new ways. And we will find that it's true. All people are sacred. And our responsibility goes well beyond the bounds of a basic human imagination. Every human action and reaction should testify to this fact. So, in doing so, he breathes life into us as we do this work of unconditional love through the power of the peace, through compassion, mercy, justice, forgiveness, and grace. As we do this, he breathes life into us, and we breathe life into others, and others breathe life back into us. And we begin to live a mountaintop experience every single day. We can do it. And why can we do it? It's because he is risen. He is risen indeed. Hallelujah. Amen.